Tvcrazyman here, not actually in Hawaii, looking at the classic TV cop show, Hawaii Five-0. We'll be looking at some fun goofs that made it to the final cut from the legendary show, plus some fascinating facts about the show that made Em Danno a household catchphrase. Now, one of the most recurring goofs from the show was when a character would start out driving one car and end up driving a completely different one without stopping to change cars. The two-door 1967 Mercury used in the pilot shows up again a few times and quickly turns into a four-door before Steve McGarrett reaches his destination, as in the episode 24 Carat Kill. It happens again in the episode By the Numbers. Steve leaves headquarters in a two-door and arrives in a four-door. You see, Jack Lord preferred a four-door body style for his character, thinking it more of a lawman's car, but personally, I think the two-door car was a lot cooler. Using previous footage from the pilot saved time and money, but it also made for a bit of strange continuity, but only if you're paying attention.
You swing over the poly to Kaneohe.
On the episode Nightmare Road, Danny is driving and Steve is the passenger. And then before they reach the beach, suddenly Steve is driving, and then they arrive and Danny is driving again. And come to think of it, I don't even think that Danny was even in the car when Steve was driving.
Em Danno.
In the episode Cry a Lie, Danny is driving a black vehicle, and when he arrives at his destination, the car isn't even the same color. It's now turned green. Yeah, it makes me wonder, what would Columbo have said about all this?
Little things bother me. I'm a worrier. I mean, little insignificant details. I lose my appetite. I can't eat.
Sorry about that. It was the right time period, but wrong show. The weirdest car goof might have been when this happened. See the guy in the back seat hiding out? I seriously think he's up to no good. Or maybe he's just a crew member. But you know, I tend to take what I see on screen as being part of the story. You know, in a show that lasts 12 seasons, there are bound to be some goofs and a few questionable editing decisions, like the one to speed up this chase scene in Season 8's episode, The Waterfront Steal. Some people have commented that it changed it from being more dramatic to more like a Keystone Cop moment. Speeding up film to make chases seem faster was commonplace back then. For example, on the 1966 Batman TV series, most of the shots of the Batmobile had to be sped up as the car used for filming was too slow and heavy to go very fast. Now, here's a scene from an episode where a 1970s Lincoln goes over a cliff, but thanks to the use of stock footage, it becomes a 1940s vehicle before exploding. This particular scene popped up on a lot of TV shows, including Mission Impossible, another instance where the car didn't fit the time period, or the car that was supposed to be exploding. You have to love continuity issues. On the episode The Ransom, Danny is wearing this darker suit, and at the very moment he busts into the warehouse, his suit is changed into a much lighter color. Now, in the context of the story, we have to assume that Danny can change clothes faster than Superman. On the episode The 90-Second War, McGarrett is injured in a car accident, and the only way to get him out is to roll the car back over using a tow truck. But instead of stopping with the car on the side, they drop it down hard. And I've watched enough Chips episodes to know you don't bounce an injured person from a car accident. The other thing that bothers me is that the car doesn't seem to have an engine. How in the world do you wreck a car with no engine? Hollywood has always been great at creating illusions. In the episode Cloth of Gold, the scene takes place in the ocean, with divers going under the water. But as they come up, you can see the shape of a dome from an aquarium. Of course, when they come all the way up out of the water, there's nothing like that on the surface. You never really know where the scene is actually being filmed, thanks to clever editing. On the episode Blood Money is Hard to Wash, McGarrett is supposed to be standing outside blocking the sun from a crooked sunbather. But what is that behind him helping him block the sun? It actually looks like some kind of sheet, probably there just to let in enough sun so the camera can still pick up Jack Lord's face. But it does look pretty strange.
Oh, you mustn't overdo this sun, Mr. Chibunk.
By the 11th season episode The Spirit is Willie, I'm sure Jack Lord was set firmly in place as a Hawaiian legend by this time. As he pulls up in his car, you can see what looks to be a crowd of spectators, probably there to catch a glimpse of Jack Lord filming this scene. And now some super cool fun trivia facts from Hawaii Five-0. Was the last letter in Hawaii Five-0 O the letter, or was it a zero? According to Google, it depends on what show you mean. In the original series, it was the letter O. On the later reboot from 2010 to 2020, it was zero. They thought it was more search engine friendly.
Is it just me, or does it look like the zero is laying on its side?
Regardless, it's still pronounced Hawaii Five-0. The meaning of 5-0 is a reference to Hawaii being the 50th state to join the Union. The term 5-0 became popular slang for the police across the U.S., due mostly to the original show's influence on pop culture. Whoa, 5-0's in town.
Book 'em, Danno.
The new series reboot lasted 10 seasons, 2 less than the original. The original ended its run in 1980, while the reboot ended in 2020. Kam Fong starred for 10 seasons as Detective Chin-Ho Kelly. He was an actual 16-year veteran of the Honolulu Police Department in real life. He joined the police force in 1944. He was working at the Pearl Harbor shipyard during the 1941 attack, and later turned to acting after retiring from the police force in 1960, although by then he had appeared in a couple of movies. According to Google, before William Shatner was cast, series creator of Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry, wanted Jack Lord to play Captain James T. Kirk. The deal fell through though because Lord demanded too much money. Now, William Shatner did guest star actually on Hawaii Five-0 during season 5.
Can you imagine if William Shatner had gotten the role of Steve McGarrett? Book 'em, Danno.
The 7th season premiere of the rebooted Hawaii Five-0 featured an appearance that featured the old and new versions of Steve McGarrett, made possible through CGI. To execute this concept, permission was first secured from Lord's estate. Counterpunch Studios created a CG version of Jack Lord's face, working with picture shop visual effects to add realistic skin textures, based on images from Lord's final season in the original series. But to be honest, it didn't really look a whole lot like Jack Lord to me. Kind of looked pretty strange, actually.
I was a cop too. Long time ago.
Now, after Hawaii Five-0 ended its run in 1980, Lord kept a low profile and was rarely seen in public. His final TV appearance was that same year in a failed pilot for a new CBS series called M Station Hawaii, which he also directed. Now, it had been filmed in early 1979, immediately before shooting the final season of Hawaii Five-0. James MacArthur played Danny Williams for 11 seasons. He gained wealth from the series, investing in Hawaii real estate. He quit the show just 1 season before it was canceled, believing that the show had basically become bland and predictable. As far as his acting career, he mainly did guest appearances and stage work after that. William Smith replaced him on the show for the final season. Although he played a good guy, of course, on Hawaii Five-0, he is best known for playing bad guys. He was famous as a lifelong bodybuilder who was inducted into Muscle Beach Venice Hall of Fame. The most interesting guest star, in my opinion, goes to Andy Griffith for the episode I'm a Family Crook, Don't Shoot. Andy actually plays a crook in this one, a nice crook, of course, with a family, but still a very dishonest scam artist.
A real pussycat, huh?
This was one of the few episodes of the series that had a lighthearted comedic feel to it. The Hawaii Five-0 theme song was later covered by The Ventures, and that version hit number 4 on the Hot 100. Danny Williams' character was nicknamed Danno by Jack Lord himself, as he had a childhood friend named Danny that he called Danno.
Book 'em, Danno.
Which is why he says Book 'em Danno instead of Book 'em Danny. Well, here's some of my bloopers and goof-ups while making this video. I finally bought a teleprompter, and you'd think it'd be easy enough to operate, wouldn't you?
We'll be looking at some fun goofs that made it to the final cut from the legendary show, plus some fascinating stuff that I can't read. Kam Fong starred for 10 seasons as Detective Chin-Ho Kelly. He was an actual 16-year veteran of the Honolulu. The meaning of 5-0 is a reference to Hawaii being the 50th state to join the Union. Just imagine if they'd made it about Alaska. Then it would have been Alaska 49 or Alaska 49. I don't know.
If you love classic TV trivia, goofs, and bloopers, Tvcrazyman is the right channel for you. Now, if you like Hawaii Five-0, you'll love the Mission Impossible goofs, or maybe even the classic MacGyver goofs. Please like and comment. I love reading what y'all have to say.
It's the only way I know what y'all think about my videos. So please leave a comment, and thanks and have a great day.
Book 'em, Danno.